Good evening and welcome back, TikTok, to another edition of True Crime After Dark. I'm your host, Ant Dollar. And in case you're new here, this is your first time, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. In the cases I got for you this evening, the stories, whatever you want to call them, they're dark, they're absolutely chilling, and 100% true. So get comfortable, my late nighters. Share the live and buckle up. I'm gonna take you on a bit of a journey this evening. Ooh, not that. Hold on. What is that? Star live. What does that mean? Oh, okay. Never mind. So yeah, tap the screen, get comfortable, y'all, and let's get into it. So the first case I got for you this evening. Hopefully y'all can hear the music and the sound of my voice okay. But the first case I got for you this evening is about the vanishing at Lake Shadow and the mystery of Emily Hartman. So if you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. And on August 14th, 1996, 17-year-old Emily Hartman went to Lake Shadow with friends in Grand Rivers, Kentucky, a quiet town with barely 800 residents. They planned a small bonfire by the water, laughing, tossing stones, sharing stories, but Emily wandered off toward a secluded pier, promising she'd be back in minutes, but of course she would never return. Initially, friends assumed she had gone to the restroom or for a walk around the lake. Hours passed and then panic set in. Locals called the police, boats combed the lake, flashlights scanned the shoreline, dogs tracked their scent, but after a few hundred meters, it simply disappeared. No clothing, no footprints, no struggle. It was as if the lake itself had just swallowed her. Several witnesses later reported seeing unusual glowing lights over Lake Shadow the night Emily vanished. Green and white orbs hovered low over the water. One man swore a figure stepped onto the lake, appearing to float before vanishing into the fog. Locals whispered about old legends, a spirit that claimed the souls of those who lingered too long by the water at night. Weeks later, an anonymous letter arrived at the Crittenden County Sheriff's Office. The writer claimed to have taken Emily but insisted she was safe. They included details only someone at that lake that night could never know. Her jacket color, the exact location she left from, and even the songs her friends were singing. The letter offered no explanation, only cryptic promises that she would be seen again someday. In 2002, a woman in Tennessee resembled Emily, but DNA testing ruled it out. Over the years, tips trickled in from people claiming to have spotted her across Kentucky and neighboring states, but nothing concrete ever emerged. The case slowly faded from national attention, but the lake and town remained haunted by her presence, or her disappearance, excuse me. The Lake Shadow disappearance remains one of Kentucky's most chilling unsolved cases. Emily Hartman's friends and family still gather near the lake each August, lighting candles and leaving flowers on the pier. Locals swear that on foggy nights, strange lights still dance across the water as if guiding or maybe even warning those who come too close. So that was our first case of the evening, y'all. We're going to keep it rolling right into the second one. I'm going to hit the water real quick. Hopefully y'all don't mind. Welcome in. Make yourself at home. Mm. Good evening, Shirley. I've been on for a little bit. Not too long, though. Thank you for the daily heart, by the way. It's probably going to be a little slow since I've been Gone for a little bit on the late nights, but that's okay. We'll pick back up in a couple of days, I'm sure. But anyways, let's get back to the disappearance of Carly Goose, and this is the mystery in the mountains. Y'all double tap that screen if you love true crime. If you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. And on the morning of October 13th, 2018, 16-year-old Carly Goose vanished from her family's home near the Snowy Mountains region. I'm going to call you Lolo. Alois Lolo Dragon. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Lolo. But 16-year-old Carly Goose vanished from her family's home near the Snowy Mountains region of New South Wales, Australia. Excuse me. She'd been acting strangely the night before after attending a small party, restless, paranoid, convinced something was coming for her. Her stepmother checked on her around sunrise and Carly was gone. Barefoot and without her phone, Carly disappeared into the vast bushland surrounding their small community. Locals, police, and helicopters scoured the mountains for weeks. They found no footprints, no items of clothing, nothing. The area was thick with brush and filled with drop-offs, dangerous terrain, even for experienced hikers. Multiple witnesses later reported seeing a girl matching Carly's description walking along a remote highway at dawn, barefoot and disoriented. Good evening, gorgeous. Welcome in, Romaine. How are you? Falks, thank you for the follow. Y'all hit that follow button if you love true crime. Double tap that screen a few times. But multiple witnesses later reported seeing a girl. I'm seeing spots. Thank you for the follow. Shirley, thank you for the friendship necklace. Later reported seeing a girl matching Carly's description walking along a remote highway at dawn, barefoot and disoriented. One man said she looked terrified, like she was running from someone, and others believed she may have gotten into a passing car heading towards Kuma, but no one ever saw her again. Shirley, thank you for the heart puffs. I appreciate you. Investigators questioned everyone close to Carly. Her stepmother's interviews drew attention online, changing details, inconsistent timelines, and eerie retellings of that morning. Some believe foul play was involved, and others think Carly suffered a mental break and became lost in the wilderness. Still, not one trace of her has ever been recovered. This case, it went viral across Australia. Reddit, Facebook, and TikTok communities have probably not too much unlike this one, I'm assuming. Dissected every interview, every witness account, and every single theory. Was this a cover-up? Or did the harsh Australian bush simply swallow her whole, where she had no trace? Even seasoned search and rescue teams said it was one of the most baffling disappearances they had ever seen. And I mean, I can see why. Years later, Carly's disappearance remains one of Australia's most haunting modern mysteries. Her family still holds hope, but time has provided no answers. Only more questions about what really happened that morning in the mountains. I always thought that one was an interesting one too. But let's move on. Let's not delay. The next case I want to talk to y'all about is about the disappearance of Melanie Ethier, the girl who vanished on the walk home. So if you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. Real quick, before I continue, put a 1 in the chat for me if you can hear both the sound of my voice and the sound of the music. I just need to know where we're at with that. But on the night of September 29th, 1996, Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate the responses. 15-year-old Melanie Ethier left a friend's house in the quiet town of New Liskeard, Ontario. Excuse me. It was a small town, one of those type of towns where everybody knows everybody. Melanie had just watched a movie and decided to walk the short distance home. She never made it. D Nice, thank you for the follow. Y'all hit that follow button right now if you love true crime. By morning, her mother knew something was wrong. Melanie wasn't the type to run away. Police organized searches through fields, forests, and nearby rivers. Volunteers walked every back road. Kristen, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Volunteers walked every back road, every ditch, but there was nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no struggle. It was like she'd vanished into thin air between two houses. Days after Melanie's disappearance, her mother began receiving silent phone calls. No one spoke, but she could hear breathing on the other end. The calls always came late at night, and when she answered, they'd hang up. Police traced one to a payphone, but the person was never identified. New Liskeard was shaking. Whispers spread fast, and some said Melanie had been seen getting into a car that night. Others believed someone local knew exactly what happened. Over the years, multiple suspects were questioned, including men known to police, but every lead went cold. Every rumor eventually faded. In 2020, a man allegedly confessed to knowing what happened to Melanie. He claimed she'd been killed and buried nearby, but investigators found no evidence to back up this story, and the man would later recant what he said. The pain reopened old wounds for Melanie's family, hope followed by heartbreak all over again. Nearly 3 decades later, her mother still keeps her bedroom the same, and every year, locals hold a candlelight vigil in her honor. In a town of less than 5,000 people, everyone remembers where they were when they heard Melanie was gone. What do y'all think about that one while we move on to the next one? And this is about the disappearance of Sierra McCarthy and the vanishing from County Clare. And before I get into this, this is why I don't always do it, but I frequently say, ladies, be vigilant. Be vigilant. I know that I'm seeing Spot says your voice. What about my voice? You like it? You like my voice? But ladies, be vigilant. I found a collection of these disappearances from all over the country, all over the world. And, it's usually the same thing. It's going to put you out perfect. You're in the right place then. That's what it's designed to do. But you see how easy it is. And this is all different age ranges, ladies. Please be vigilant. You're most vulnerable when you're putting those keys in the door and you're paying attention to that and you're not looking behind you. Someone could just, be vigilant. I mean, fellas too, but I feel like personally it's a lot less likely, unless you're like a smaller guy, real vulnerable or something like that, that you're going to be approached with these type of problems. Now, someone might try to rob you, with a gun or a weapon. Fellas, it is what it is. Go to a gym, start training. But specifically ladies, it takes like that, to break the hearts of everyone in your life. And, being vigilant can help with that. I'm not saying that it's going to prevent and stop every situation, because you can be the most paranoid, most prepared person in the world and still get, something bad happen to you. But be vigilant, ladies. Anyways, let's get into it. On the evening of October 12th, 2001, 17-year-old Sierra McCarthy left her home in a small village near Innistymen County, or excuse me, Innistymen County Clare, Ireland. Ooh, that's a tongue twister right there. She had planned to walk to her friend's house a few miles down the road. That night, the village was silent, the streets empty, until Sierra never returned. Her parents initially thought she might have stayed at a neighbor's house, but by midnight, panic set in. Villagers organized a search with flashlights, walking along the narrow. Chrissy, thank you for the daily heart and welcome in, by the way. Walking along the narrow country roads, through the fields and the woods. Dogs tracked faint scents, but they quickly vanished. The police were called, but no evidence of a struggle or abduction was found. In the days following Sierra's disappearance, neighbors reported strange sightings. A man in a dark coat standing on the edge of the woods near the road she took. Thank you for the repost spots. I appreciate you. Watching silently. Another resident claimed to see a car parked near a bridge that Sierra would have crossed. Shirley, thank you for the you're awesome. You're awesome. I appreciate you. With its headlights off and engine running. But none of these leads were ever verified. Thank you for the heart me flex, Shirley. Thank you. Thank you. Over the years, multiple suspects were questioned, including locals with criminal records, but every lead ended in a dead end. Rumors of a stranger traveling through the region circulated, but nothing concrete ever emerged. Sierra's school friends remembered her being worried about someone following her weeks prior, but when asked for details, they claimed they didn't want to get involved. In 2010, a tip came in from a man claiming he had seen he had seen a girl matching Sierra's description in a nearby county. Police followed the lead, but it turned out to be a false alarm. The tip reopened old wounds and the family faced another wave of heartbreak. No arrests were ever made and no evidence of Sierra's whereabouts was uncovered. He said we can go to sleep to his voice. Hey, you definitely can. I know a couple of y'all got me in bed with you right now too. Put a one in the chat, ladies, if you got me in bed with you right now. There's no place I'd rather be, by the way. To this day, though, as they see, there's a couple. I see you, ladies. To this day, Sierra McCarthy's disappearance remains one of rural Ireland's most haunting cold cases. Villagers remember the young girl who vanished from a familiar path, leaving only fear and questions behind. Candlelight vigils are occasionally held, and her family still hopes for answers. All these young girls from all over the place, there's not a certain demographic or a certain class or a certain region of the world. This is happening everywhere. Be vigilant. Tell your kids, tell your daughters especially, to be vigilant. It's easy to get tricked online. It's easy to meet somebody. Oh, we're just going to meet up, blah, 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 blah. Be vigilant. And be vigilant with your children, please. I don't want to, read somebody that I care about or someone that I care about, they care about story on one of these lives. So please be vigilant, please. So y'all, let's talk about the disappearance of Emily Parker. And this is about the vanishing from a small South Carolina town. So if you're new here, first of all, welcome. Hit that follow button. If you love true crime, double tap that screen a few times. But if you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. And on April 16th, 2005, 16-year-old Emily Parker left her home in the quiet town of Andrews, South Carolina, to meet a friend at a local diner. The sun had set and the streets were nearly empty, but Emily never arrived, and her disappearance would shake this small community to its core. Her parents initially assumed she was delayed or had gone somewhere else in town, but as hours passed, fear set in. The local police organized the search, canvassing streets, nearby woods, and abandoned buildings. Oh, Robbie, thank you for the daily heart. I appreciate you. And we got two. We're almost at the goal. That's pretty cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. One more. Volunteers joined, flashlights cutting through the dark. Dogs tracked her scent briefly before losing it near the edge of the surrounding marshlands. In the days following Emily's disappearance, residents reported seeing a dark SUV parked near the diner where she had planned to meet her friend. One witness claimed a man was standing outside watching the roads, then suddenly drove off at high speed when he was noticed. A few teenagers reported seeing a figure moving near the woods, but when authorities checked, there was nothing. Investigators questioned dozens of people, locals, including known offenders in the area, but no solid leads emerged. Rumors circulated that Emily may have been taken by someone who knew the town well, possibly watching her for days. Colleen, thank you for the follow. And welcome, by the way. I really appreciate you. Despite tip lines and anonymous calls, though, no evidence pointed conclusively to any suspect. In 2010, police received a tip about a girl matching Emily's description spotted in a nearby county. Investigators followed it, but the lead proved false. Emily's parents continued to search and campaign for her return while the town watched in quiet dread as another year passed without any answers. The disappearance of Emily Parker remains one of Andrews, South Carolina's most haunting mysteries. The quiet streets where she vanished still holds whispers of her name, and candlelight vigils occur occasionally. And her family never stops hoping for answers. And I got a good one here for you too, because it's the other side of it now. We're talking about all these disappearances, and I always tell the ladies to be vigilant, but fellas, let's talk about the rare case. Well, not the rare case, but at least you don't hear about it as much as you hear about women vanishing or disappearing, being abducted. So let's flip the coin, shall we? And let me talk to y'all about the the vanishing of Marcus Ellison. And this is let's just call it a small town mystery on the outskirts of San Diego. So near San Diego, I guess you could call it San Diego, but it's really not San. Anyways, we're going to get into it, okay? It's almost like, how can I describe it? Okay, if you're familiar with Tucson, there's places like Marana that's nearby. And some people call that Tucson, but it's really Marana. Okay, it doesn't matter. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways, if you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. And on September 12th, 1998, 17-year-old Marcus Ellison left his home in a quiet San Diego suburb to meet friends at a local convenience store. The sun had set and the streets were nearly empty. Marcus never returned. That night marked the beginning of a small town mystery that still haunts the outskirts of San Diego. Marcus's parents reported him missing after he didn't return home for hours. Police, neighbors, and volunteers organized a search, checking nearby parks, trails, and abandoned warehouses. I did miss you coming in, love. How are you? It is so good to see you. Thank you for joining me late. You make things that much better when you're here. So it really is good to see you, and I hope all has been well. And abandoned warehouses. Dogs tracked his scent for a short distance before it abruptly ended near a small canal. Nothing else was found. No footprints, no signs of struggle, nothing to indicate where Marcus had gone. In the days following, locals reported seeing a white van idling near the canal where Marcus's scent disappeared. Witnesses described a shadowy figure moving around the area at night. Some teenagers said they heard muffled cries from the same direction, but when police investigated, no one was there. Rumors circulated of a recluse living in the surrounding hills who had a reputation for watching teens. So see, when I was, okay. So tell me if I'm tripping on this, right? They say that there was rumors of a recluse, right, that had a reputation for watching teens. If I was in that city, we gonna have to go press the recluse. Like, bro, why is you watching teens? I don't know. Am I crazy for that? Why is there a recluse allowed to be in the mountains watching teens? Am I wrong for thinking that? Let me know. One, if I'm wrong. Two, if you agree. Because I'm just like, so y'all know about this and everybody's just cool. We just gonna let them live and keep watching our kids. Nah, I'm about to go see what's going on. I'm about to go check the temperature real quick. Make sure everything is everything, right? Anyways, I thought that was weird when I was. Exactly. You would have to, right. Spot say seriously too. Aveline said I would have to go on and ask. Exactly. I'm gonna have to go see what's up. Colleen, thank you for the repost. Shayna also says too, yeah, I just got to go see what's up real quick. It don't even have to necessarily be any friction. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just put my hands on somebody just to put my hands on them, but like, I need to know what's going on. Especially if you're watching our kid, I got to know what's going on. Like, you can't just be all up in the mountains, all keeping to yourself. Nobody can come talk to you, but you just get to peek out when you want to. Like, it doesn't work like that. Nope. Aveline says, I might if it's kids. I hear you. Spot says, just ask some questions. Exactly. I just got a couple questions. That's it. I just want to know what's up. That's it. But anyways, in the days following, oh no. Authorities interviewed dozens of people, from local teens to known offenders in the area, but no solid leads emerged. Anonymous tips hinted at someone familiar with Marcus and the town's back roads, but nothing concrete could be confirmed. Months turned into years and the trail went cold. You live in deep South Texas. I know y'all don't play that down there. In 2003, a hiker reported seeing a teenager matching Marcus's description near a remote desert area outside San Diego. The lead was pursued, but again, it proved false. Marcus's family held vigils, distributed flyers, and never gave up hope. Though the years only deepened the mystery surrounding his disappearance. Missing 411, yeah, man. So many kids and people on that registry. It's so sad. The disappearance of Marcus Ellison remains one of the most chilling unresolved cases in the small town outskirts of San Diego. Local parks and trails where he was last seen still carry whispers, and the canal where his scent vanished is avoided by some residents at night. It's super horrible. I think I got a couple more for you. If y'all got some time. Yeah, let's do two. Y'all got time for a couple more or no? What y'all think? We got time? Do I got time to do two more for you? Can I do two more songs, y'all? Can I do two more songs? Is that okay? I know they're trying to cut me off. I'm sorry to the venue. I'm sorry. I just want to do two more. I just want to do two more, okay? I'm back in my hometown. We're vibing in here. It's a packed house. It's a sold out show. I want to do two more for the crib, and then we can. All right. Y'all can find me later. Sorry, that's me just projecting, you know. Because if I ever get on one of those big old stages, that's how it's gonna be. I know it's supposed to be over at 11. I know, but look at this. Take my pay. It's okay. Take my pay. Y'all keep my pay. Pay all the people that have to stay late. Okay, we're gonna keep this thing going. Let me talk to you about the disappearance of Emily Hart. Okay. And this is the small town mystery of South Dakota. Yeah, see, make them stay late, but pay them a little bit more, you know? I don't mind staying late if I'm going to get paid for it. I don't mind. I would be willing to give up the whole purse. Whatever I made, take it. Bust it down between the workers, and let's keep this party going, man. Let's keep it going. Do it for the people. Not every show, though. I'm not saying that every show, y'all. We're not giving it. We ain't gonna give it away every single show, okay? Not every show. But if you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. And on October 7th, 1995, 16-year-old Emily Hart left her home in the small town of Brookings, South Dakota, to walk to a friend's house a few blocks away. The streets were quiet, the autumn air crisp, and Emily never arrived. That night, her family's worst nightmare began. Her parents called the police when she didn't return. Volunteers would comb the neighborhood. I love your smiling sense of humor. Well, you stop it before you make me do it again. Nah, tell me more. Tell me. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. But volunteers would comb the neighborhood, nearby fields, and wooded areas just outside town. Search dogs picked up her scent near the edge of a cornfield, but it disappeared suddenly, as if Emily had vanished into thin air. No footprints, no evidence, nothing to indicate what had happened. Over the following days, neighbors reported a dark pickup truck seen circling the area at odd hours. Ooh, Susie, thank you for the repost. I appreciate you. Some claim they saw a shadowy figure watching from the tree line, moving quickly and disappearing. Others said they heard faint screams echoing near the fields, but when authorities checked, there was nothing. Stephanie, thank you for the daily heart, and it is good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Rumors spread of a hermit living on the outskirts of Brookings, someone with a troubling past, but no one could confirm a connection. Aveline, thank you for the share, love. I appreciate you. Police interviewed dozens of teens, neighbors, and known offenders, but no solid leads emerged. Anonymous tips suggested Emily may have been lured by someone she knew, but nothing was substantiated. The case would grow cold as the months would roll on. Years later, hi Serena, welcome in. Years later, hikers claim to have seen a girl matching Emily's description near a remote area in eastern South Dakota. Investigators followed the lead, but it ended in disappointment. Emily's family continued their search, refusing to give up hope, but the mystery of her disappearance would remain unsolved. The disappearance of Emily Hart still remains one of South Dakota's most haunting small town mysteries. The fields and wooded areas near Brookings are still avoided by some residents at night, and the story of Emily's vanishing continues to haunt the town. And see, this is what I'm saying again, y'all, about this be vigilant thing. Here we go. Okay. I thought this one was good too, because this is kind of a little bit different, slightly different. This isn't a disappearance, but it's a crazy case though. So, anyways, let's get into it. Shout out to Roller Barbie for the follow. Stefania, good evening. Good evening. Okay, so we got a few more friends joining us. So, welcome in, y'all. Wait, Roller Barbie, you're not Amy D, are you? Because we have another Amy that comes in that spells her name like, okay, no, you're not her. But welcome in, Amy, aka Roller Barbie. Thank you for being number 50. Oh, you're Aveline. Well, any friend of Aveline is surely and duly a friend of mine. You're Amy M. Well, nice. Now we have an Amy D and an Amy M spelled the same exact way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm thrilled about it. Okay, I'm absolutely floored by that. So thank you for joining, and Aveline, thank you for inviting. She was really a part of the family already anyway. She just didn't know. So y'all, let's get into it. Let's put a cherry on this thing real quick. If you haven't already, make sure you follow if you love true crime. Make sure you tap that screen a few times. If you really enjoy what's going on here, you see that heart or that plus sign right there, click that, join the tribe, make it official. And if you really want to support, consider subscribing. It is the best way to do so. Now, without any further ado, let's talk about the Colton arson murders. And this is the small town horror of Colton, California. I actually used to live in Colton, California in Retchie Canyon. So when I seen this, the hairs on my chinny chin did stand up. So let me share it with you. I think y'all will be interested in this one. So if you're new here, welcome. I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff. In February 1989, the normally quiet streets of Colton, California, maybe they were quiet in 89 because they weren't really that quiet when I was living there. But anyways, were rocked by a series of fires, a little close to home, but it's been a long time since I've lived there, honestly. I mean, I haven't lived in Colton. I mean, it's been over 10 years now, at least 10 years. So yeah. What started as small trash can blazes quickly escalated to full homes burning down, and residents feared the worst, naturally. The first fire claimed the home of Mark and Evelyn Hart, a couple in their late 40s. Firefighters arrived to find the house fully engulfed with no one inside. Later, hey Chris, welcome back. It's good to see you. Later, investigators discovered both Mark and Evelyn's bodies in the rubble. Strangely, they had been killed before the fire started. That's interesting. Let's see if we can figure this out. So over the next 3 weeks, 2 more homes in Colton suffered the same fate. Good morning, Queen Anne. Good morning, my liege. Fire masked murders. Huh. Each victim was seemingly targeted at random, yet there was a clear pattern. Investigators believed the killer was local, familiar with the streets and residents' routines. Small town residents began sleeping in shifts. Sarah, thank you for joining the tribe and welcome number 51. Y'all, we on the road back to 100 and we will be there soon. Y'all know we will be there soon. But small town residents began sleeping in shifts, watching for suspicious cars and strangers. Police interviewed dozens of locals, but every lead ended in frustration. Some neighbors reported seeing a shadowy figure carrying gasoline cans late at night. Others spoke of a man who had recently lost his home to foreclosure, possibly seeking revenge. Despite extensive investigations, no arrests were ever made. The Colton arson murders left the town shaken. Families moved away, schools added extra patrols, and the nights felt endless for those who stayed. The fire department reported seeing unexplained flames and empty lots, as if the killer still walked among them, waiting for the next target. That had to be kind of scary. To this day, the Colton arson murders remain unsolved. Authorities have no DNA, no credible witnesses, and the small town whispers continue about the man who could strike, burn, and vanish without a trace. Colton residents remember that winter of 1989 as one of the darkest in their town's history. We're going to put a stamp on it right there for the evening. But before we get out of here, you know what we must do. We got to go out on a prayer, y'all. So, very interesting, right, Aveline? I think, how could you just set a fire and get... I don't know. I feel like they solve the crimes that they really want to solve, and then the ones they don't, it's like, we have no idea. We don't know. Jewel, thank you for the daily heart. We hit 20K. Oh, nice. 20K likes. Thank you for the 20K taps, y'all. Tap, 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 tap. But let's get into a prayer, y'all. Bow your heads, close your eyes real quick. Dear God in heaven, thank you so much for the opportunity for fellowship. A lot has changed since we've had the chance to come together like this, but no matter what has changed, what will change, or what is currently changing right now, the one thing that remains unchanged is our devotion, our love, and our dedication to you, God. And, I just ask right now for all of us, those silent prayers that didn't get spoke aloud, but, the desires of the heart and the needs and anxieties of the mind. I ask that you protect, cover, and guide those who are seeking that guidance, Lord, and continue to guide all of our steps, whether we actively seek or not. Because sometimes we don't realize what we don't realize until we realize it. So I want to keep it simple tonight, God. Just say thank you for opportunity. Thank you for breath. Thank you for blood flowing through our bodies. Thank you for the ability to use both arms, all my fingers, all my legs, both my legs, I should say, all my toes, have hearing. I can see, I can smell, I can taste with my tongue, and just be able to experience this human experience, which so many of us don't get to, So thank you, God. Really appreciative of that today, and just a zest for life. And hopefully you're having a good week too, Lord. I say all that in God's name. Amen, y'all. Amen, y'all. I know my prayers be a little different than your pastors do, but I talk to God like we talk all the time. That's just how I do it. I don't know how to make it sound, flowery or official, or like your favorite preacher, your favorite pastor, whatever, how they do it. I can't do it like how they do it, y'all. I only know how to be honest and talk openly. That's all I know how to do. That's all I know how to do, y'all. So, oh, I'm gonna get some rest. It's been a long week in a good way. Just readjusting my body and getting things ready. But yeah, I'm gonna get a little rest. Well, no, yeah, I think I'm gonna rest. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I don't even feel like going tonight. So I owe myself one. When y'all talk to me tomorrow, ask me if I went to the gym, and I better have said yes before I talk to you tomorrow again. But anyways, y'all, all seriousness, I love y'all so much. Thank you. We're back. This is True Crime After Dark. I'll see you in the morning for good morning. We gonna check in. D Nice, thank you for tapping in with me. We will be back tomorrow. If I get off work early enough, I'll do True Crime Live. That's our middle live. And then we always gonna do True Crime After Dark because I don't work overnights anymore. So praise God for that. Praise God for y'all. Praise God for TikTok. And yeah, we'll do it again. God bless the dead. I will see y'all soon. Thank you. Vanessa, thank you for the follow. Real quick before you get out of here. If you love true crime and you're not following, what are you doing? Hit the follow button right now. I drop 3 videos a day for you. And I go live. Holla at me. Love. I mean that.